Welcome to this video lecture on public-private partnerships in urban redevelopment. This lecture will discuss organizational and contractual models for urban development or redevelopment. My name is Fred Hopma and I'm Associate Professor of Planning and Development Law at Delft University of Technology. This video lecture is a follow-up of the lecture on public-private partnerships that focused on from development control planning to development planning. The current video lecture will discuss various organizational and contractual models. The central question is between which organizational and contractual models can be chosen for an urban redevelopment project. We will make an analytical distinction between 5 organizational and contractual models for urban development or redevelopment. Of these 5 models, 2 can be characterized as not being public-private partnerships, and 3 models of development can be characterized as public-private partnerships. 2 models not being PPP are public land development and private land development. 3 models that can be characterized as PPP are development rights model, concession model, and joint venture model. We can put these models on a scale indicating the public or private character of the model. So, are the risks and revenues of the development more for the public sector, the municipality, or the private sector, developer? Here we can see that public land development is on the public side of the scale, and private land development is on the private side of the scale. These 2 models are not considered to be public-private partnership. The other 3 models are considered to be public-private partnerships. The development rights model is partly private, but for the most part public. The joint venture model is in the middle of the scale, so is equally public as private. And the concession model is more to the private side of this scale. So here we have an overview of the 5 models on the scale from public to private. Let's now discuss each of the 5 models. Public land development. What are the characteristics of public land development? Here are 3 characteristics. In public land development, the municipality owns all the land that has to be developed or redeveloped. Possibly the municipality acquired the land some time ago. The second step is that the municipality prepares the land for construction. Preparing the land for construction or servicing the land entails a number of activities. For instance, decontamination of the land, so cleaning up polluted land, leveling the land, removing obstacles from the land, pre-roading the land, usually by putting a lot of sand on the land so that it will be pre-loaded and reinforced. It also includes demolition of certain structures that need to be removed. And preparing the land for construction also involves the construction of public infrastructure like roads, parks, parking lots, and the construction of a sewerage system. This all entails preparing the land for construction and is done by the municipality in the public land development model. The third step is that the municipality sells plots of land to developers, and the developers realize the real estate, so the offices, the housing, the shopping centers, etc. This model merely includes a land sale transaction under 3 sale by the municipality of plots to developers. There is no cooperation in this model between public and private sectors. So this cannot be seen as public-private partnership. The private land development model for urban development is quite different. It includes 4 steps. First, the private property developer at the start of the development owns all the land that has to be developed. Perhaps in the past, through strategic acquisitions, the private property developer becomes owner of land. Second step is that the developer prepares the land for construction, so constructs the sewerage, etc., etc. Third, the developer concludes an agreement with the municipality regarding the recoup of municipal costs for public infrastructure and services. Often the municipality needs to make some costs, for instance connecting the plot of the developer to the existing public roads and other activities, and the developer will pay the municipality for that. And step number 4 is that the developer will realize the real estate, so the buildings. This model too merely includes a financial transaction under number 3, payments of the developer to the municipality. But there is no real cooperation between the parties. The municipality in this model only exercises influence through the land use plan for the area. But that is a public document. No PPP. Again, these are 3 models of PPP in Dutch urban redevelopment. Development rights model, concession model, and joint venture model. Each model includes contractual arrangements between public and private parties going further than a financial transaction. It involves public and private parties in the decision making. Let's take a look at the development rights model. This is an agreement between landowners, so developers, and the municipality holding 3 steps. The private parties, so the developers, will transfer the land to the municipality for a certain price. In return for transferring ownership of the land to the municipality, the developers gain the right to develop certain plots. These are the development rights later on in the process. The second step is that the municipality prepares the land for construction. And the third step is that the municipality transfers land plots back to developers who will realize the real estate. And the developers will pay normal, usual commercial prices for the land they buy from the municipality. What is the ratio of this model? Well, the private parties will, under number 1, transfer the land to the municipality because they own, and that's the starting point of this model, they own several small pieces of land that are not connected to each other. The plots of land that the developers own in this model in itself are of limited use for the developer because they are scattered around or too small to be developed. Now, the development rights model entails that the developers sell their plots to the municipality. Possibly the municipality also owns land in the land, and now all of the land, after transferring the land from developers to municipality, all of the land in the area becomes owned by the municipality. Now that the municipality becomes owner of the land, it can split the land in plots that are suitable for development and sell these plots to the developers. So due to the development rights model, developers will receive a plot of land that is big enough and suitable for development. This model is often used, and here's the PPP aspect. Developers and municipality will consult about the program to be realized in the area prior to selling the land by developers to the municipality. So there is a relation between developers and municipality. They will consult about what is going to be built in the area later on in the process. This model is appropriate when land ownership is divided among many parties. And the division of land ownership is overcome because the municipality becomes owner of all the land and then splits the land into plots that are suitable for development. The financial risk of the land development lies with the municipality because the municipality will clean up the soil if necessary, will remove obstacles, preload the land, etc., etc., before selling it to developers for the normal commercial prices. The development right model includes land development, the real estate development, so the buildings will be built by the developers. So the risks of real estate development lie with the private parties. The financial risk of land development lies with the municipality, as explained. Leidse Utrecht is an example of application of this development rights model. This is a huge area adjacent to the existing city of Utrecht and involves around 30,000 dwellings and around 80,000 new inhabitants. Each developer in the Netherlands knew that the area was going to be developed, so many developers bought plots of land from farmers. However, since the land ownership was scattered and divided amongst very many parties, these parties on their own plot were not able to develop. After use of the development rights model, it was because they were given a suitable plot by the municipality after the municipality prepared the land for construction. The other PPP model, the concession model, more on the private side of the scale. This is an agreement between the municipality and a developer characterized by, sometimes but not always, transferring land from the municipality to the developer, setting conditions for the redevelopment by the municipality limited to the programming main lines, so which functions can be realized, percentage of social housing, the urban planning conditions relating to roads and access points, the rough conditions relating to the visual quality of the area, and exact conditions relating to the public spaces. So this is what negotiations are about, the conditions for the redevelopment. And this is the PPP aspect. Public and private parties consult about the conditions for the redevelopment. Third, a fixed financial agreement will be concluded between the developer and the municipality. This may include the municipality paying the developer in case of an anticipated operation deficit, and that could be the case if we know that the land is heavily polluted and the developer has to make a lot of cost to clean up, or the developer paying to the municipality in case the municipality transferred a lot of clean, not polluted land to the developer. In the concession model, the land is developed and the real estate is developed by the developer. The developer also makes the public space, and municipality and developer agree on conditions within which the developer has freedom to act. There's a fixed financial arrangement, so there are no later financial adjustments. All financial risks lie with the developer, but of course also all profits accrue to the developer. The reasons for a municipality to enter into a concession model agreement is that it's time saving for the municipality. It requires not much time from the civil servants. Another reason is that this model includes a shift of risks towards the private parties. Again, also the revenues will go to the private parties. But it is a model having only few and very limited risk for the public sector. In the concession model, there are fixed conditions set by the municipality, and the municipality cannot easily change the conditions after the agreement has been closed. The developer has the freedom to optimize within the conditions agreed on, and this model holds a clear division of responsibilities between the developer and the municipality. For this reason, we also call it an Anglo-Saxon model. There is a clear division between government setting conditions and private parties taking risks, and there is a small role for government. These are characteristics of the Anglo-Saxon societies. It is not a major model of development in the Netherlands, but it is gaining some popularity. For instance, it was used in the case of Mortieren in the city of Middelburg, a huge development area where a concession was used. The joint venture model is the last of the 5 models. This is an agreement between a municipality and one or more private parties, developers, characterized by working together on an objective agreed on within an organizational relationship, with all parties contributing resources, with sharing of risks among parties and dividing of profits between parties. The joint venture model of PPP is often used in Dutch urban development or redevelopment, often in the form of a common land development company, a joint venture company that is set up. Let's make a comparison between a concession and a joint venture. Actually, the character of a concession is purchased by the municipality or outsourcing the urban development process and risks. The principle is one of transfer of risks towards the private parties, towards the developers. And the choice for the concession has mainly financial reasons, in that it holds limited financial risk for the municipality. Indeed, the risk of land development and real estate development lie with the developers. The joint venture, on the other hand, has no client-contract relationship. There is a mutual final responsibility for the process, and it holds the principle of sharing of risks, sharing of profits, and sharing of losses, and not dividing risks. A choice for joint venture has motives of quality and synergy. An example can be found in the development of the Paleiskwartier Palace Quarter in the city of 's-Hertogenbosch. This is the redevelopment of a former inner city industrial area. And this is an area where the PPP is a joint venture company between private parties, amongst other a developer, and a municipality of 's-Hertogenbosch. Here are some characteristics of the joint venture company for the area, the BV Ontwikkelingsmaatschappij Paleiskwartier, a development company. It is a cooperation for the longer term. The cooperation will last for 15 years or 20 years or longer. There is one legal entity, the company, and it operates under private law. There is one company, as a management organization. And it's a hybrid organization because the public sector and the private sector work together in this organization. The partners in the joint venture development company are the municipality of 's-Hertogenbosch, Condor Wessels, a project developer, a bank, and a pension fund. Each partner holding 25% of the shares, and they agreed that decision making would occur by unanimity. Joint ventures do have strengths, of course. Large-scale developments and high ambitions often require big pre-financing. A lot of land has to be acquired. Huge costs are involved with acquiring buildings and the demolition of them. Huge costs are involved with soil cleanup, etc. So big pre-financing could benefit from the combination of municipality and private investors giving both money to the project so that big financial risk can be shared. But also, those big developments may profit from an input of knowledge and experience by public and private sectors. We've discussed now 3 different PPP models. We cannot say that one model delivers better results than the other. For instance, you cannot say that the spatial quality in areas where the development rights model was used is higher than the spatial quality in areas where concessions were used. No, what is essential is that the models have different starting conditions, different reasons to use them. The development rights model is used in case of scattered land ownership. The concession model is used if the risks are shifted by the public sector, the municipality, to the private sector. And a joint venture model is used if the parties want to share risk and share revenues. But we cannot say that one model is better than another model. An interesting feature of public-private partnerships in urban development is that often contracts are concluded between municipality and developers regarding the land use plan. This phenomenon is known as the land use plan agreement. And land use plan agreements link public law power to adopt the land use plan to private sector investments. Let's go a little bit further into detail. A land use plan agreement is an agreement between a municipality and a private organization on the process and or contents of a land use plan to be drafted. So the order is therefore, first there is a private law agreement and then the public law land use plan will be adopted. So what actually happens is that public sector and private sector, municipality and developers, consult and agree about the contents of the future land use plan. And once they agree on it, and that is the land use plan agreement, the procedures of the land use plan under public law will take place. Let's take a look at an example of a land use plan agreement. A land use plan agreement, which is a part of a much bigger set of agreements, may include the following. Mayor and aldermen commit themselves toward the developer to do all that is required to have the land use plan that will be prepared for the planning area go through the legally prescribed procedure at the shortest term possible. So this land use plan agreement relates to the procedure, and it says that the municipal executive, mayor and alderman, will speed up the procedure of the land use plan. And speeding up the procedure will benefit the developer. These type of agreements give the private sector, the developer, some certainty that the legal planning framework for the urban development will be promoted by local authorities. These agreements on the contents of the land use plan or the procedure of the land use plan will give certainty, not full certainty, but a certain amount of certainty to the developer that the municipality has the same objectives as the developer has, and that the municipality will do everything possible to promote the development of the area and will use its public law powers in accordance with that. In the textbook, the phenomenon of land use plan agreements will be further explained. Well, this concludes our discussion of the organizational and contractual models for urban development. or urban redevelopment.